Hey guys, welcome back to our channel,
Plots with a Twist,
we discuss books,
amongst other things.
and today we're gonna do a tag for you guys.
Yes.
You guys love tags. Maybe you don't.
We saw this on Nakia's Hideaway. Shout out to her. And we'll also link her video as well as the original tag video for this. But we are doing the mid-year, what is it called? Check-in, something like that.
Right.
Y'all see the title of the video. So yeah, let's get into it.
Okay.
So Asia got the questions.
First question is best book you've read so far in 2021. What was your pick?
I didn't pick one. That's the one question I skipped over. So that's actually really difficult because I think so far I've had a lot of good reading this year. So if I had to pick between, so I would say Concrete Rose was one of the best. I enjoyed Midnight Library and The House in the Cerulean Sea. So I would say between those three.
Okay.
But more recently, because The House of Cerulean Sea, I recently finished it more recently than the others. So that's the one that's top of the mind.
Sticks
so.
in your head. Okay. For me, it's Dominicana by Angel. So
that's in the mix too.
Yeah, because I haven't read that many books this year, so I had slim pickings. But that's the one that is the best one that I like so far.
Real slim.
So far,
just
whatever. Okay, so next question is best sequel you've read so far in 2021.
Have you even read any sequels?
Yes, I have.
Ooh.
Why are you concerned about me?
Ooh.
What's the best sequel you've read?
So I kind of cheated a little bit because my book isn't technically, it's in a series. So I guess it's one of the sequels. But that is Broken Harbor by Tana French.
Okay.
Because I haven't read that many sequels this year. I read a prequel and I read one other sequel, and both of those were no. So I went ahead and said, Tana, come on, girl. Okay. So yeah, that was the best sequel I read. What's that?
For me, it's China Rich Girlfriend, and the
I knew you was
second
gonna say
book.
that.
All right, because it's on the sequel I read, but that's the second book in the Crazy Rich Asian series by Kevin Kwan, and y'all know I love that book. So recently talked about it in whatever wrap up that was. So yeah. Okay, so next question. New release you haven't read yet but want to.
So I have a couple. I have actually more, but I just wrote down two. So one of them is a cheat because I'm currently is on my Audible just waiting for me to press play. So I'm getting to that this month. And that is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It was just released not too long ago. And then the other one is The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dahlia Harris. Seen that on some book lists as well, and I have that on hold. It came out more so probably last month than anything, but yeah, those are two I have on my list that I want to read but haven't yet.
So mine is Life After Death by Sister Soldier. It's a new release still because it came out this year. So and I haven't read it yet. Been waiting, but Libby keep playing with my life. So yeah, that's the one that I picked for a new release that I haven't read but want to. Okay, so next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year.
Eek. So I did not see too many coming out. It was hard to find what's coming out because I don't keep up with what's the hot. I'm lying, but in a way I really don't keep up what's coming out months later. I'll look at what's coming out this month, maybe next month, but that's it. So most of mine are either about to be released or released by the time this video is posted, and that's The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I might give him another try. And then other than that, Megan Miranda, she has a new book, I think The Quiet Place, something like that. I haven't read another Megan Miranda book since I read her debut, so I've been wanting to get back to her. So there's that. And then I think Shara Limpina, she has a new book that probably all of these have probably been released by the time this video is posted. But that's all I can think of. And that's my answer to the last question too, but we'll get there too.
Okay, so we'll be on oh wait, I gotta answer. Okay, so my most anticipated release for the second half of the year is a book that Kristen already mentioned. And I guess it's not really second half because it's already out, but I don't know when it came out. But I put Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid because that's, we love Taylor. We're on a first name basis, so.
Oh, that's your
that's my homegirl. That's my business.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what I'm anticipating to read, and I hope it comes available soon so I can read that. Yeah. Okay, so next question is your biggest disappointment of this year, chill.
So unfortunately, it's a disappointment. So I had a lot of books that were for me this year, and I had a lot of good books, but for me this one was a disappointment because I'm such a fan of her work, and this one just didn't hit it for me. So that's The Searcher by Tana French. I'm sorry, it was readable, it just wasn't the same Tana I've grown to love. And I kind of discussed recently why that is, so I won't go into too much detail, but yeah, it was just a bit of a disappointment for me.
Okay, so originally I didn't have an answer to this question because I haven't read too many books this year, and I feel like everything I've read was I didn't have super exceptional expectations of them, so they weren't disappointments. But I will say that I remember I read Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, and it wasn't a disappointment per se. If I have to answer this question, out of all the books I've read, it would be the biggest because
you had high hopes.
I had super, super high hopes, and it's still a good book. I still really enjoyed it, but it was the people in the book were so annoying. That was what it was. I remember when we talked about the book, it was just super annoying. That was disappointing. But other than that, it was fine. If somebody put a gun to my hand and said, you have to answer this question, that's what I would pick. But I really don't have too many disappointing reads from this year, so.
Okay. Well, I guess that's a good problem to have.
Right. So, number 6 is the biggest surprise, I guess, that you've read, surprised you.
So that was a book I recently finished, and this is probably going to be my answer for a few of these questions, but that's The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I did not have any firm expectations. I did see great reviews on it. And of course, it came out sometime last year, but I read it this year. But yeah, I was really shocked by how much I enjoyed that book. It had a lot of elements that I wasn't sure were going to come together in a way that it did, and it did. It made me, really enjoy his writing. So I'm curious to check out some of his other books. So yeah, is that a boy? I mean, or is he a he?
Yeah, it could be a woman. Okay, so for me, what's the biggest surprise? 6. Okay. So I put down The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by
B.E. Schwab.
B.E. Schwab. And it was just not that it was so surprising, but it was a really good book. I really enjoyed the book, and I really went into it okay, let me just read this book because everybody talking about it and it's on our list or whatever. Right. So this is actually a book that I quite thoroughly enjoyed and love the the magical realism in the book. And y'all know I don't really give that too much because I like fantasy books too, but not so much so. Anyway, so yeah, so that was a surprise for me. I think I gave it 5 stars or whatever.
Ooh,
so I really
you gave all your books this year.
No,
5
I didn't.
stars.
I did not.
And the book that you should have gave 5 stars, you didn't.
Which one?
You said Concrete Road. You only gave 4. Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So that was that for me. So next question is your favorite new author, debut, or just new to you?
So new to me, my favorite new author, I put B.E. Schwab because I too enjoyed The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and her writing was really intriguing. I really like to explore more into it. I've heard positive things about her other books. So yeah, I would definitely add her to the list of someone I would definitely check out if she comes out in future writings. But for now, I'm going to go and, check her backlog of all her previously published books. So that's B.E. Schwab.
Okay, so for me, I put Angie Cruz by who wrote Dominicana, and I don't know if she has other books, to be honest.
Because that came out 2019.
Yeah, I think that was like her first book. If not, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. But I just really enjoyed her writing and the stories. So I feel like whatever she comes out with, I'll be interested to see, to follow up with, just because I really enjoyed Dominicana and her writing style. Okay. So that was that.
I can see that too. I enjoyed her too.
Yeah. So, so next question is newest fictional crush.
That was hard.
Yeah.
So I picked, like, in most of the books I read this year, like, no one to write home about. But I'll say the kind of person I'd be attracted to, I guess, if in real life, if they were a real person, would be Emmett from This Close to Okay. He struck that balance of like broken yet fixed. It's kind of like, I can fix you, but you can fix me. So yeah, and he was really sweet and thoughtful, even though he was really being really vague and kind of dishonest about like everything he had been experiencing. But This Close to Okay, if you guys don't know, it's an okay book, but him in particular, I would say he has that aura that if I had to say I had a crush on a fictional character, it would be him.
Maybe him. Okay. So for me, I didn't pick anybody because I don't know, like, it's nobody.
What about the guy from Out of LaRue?
Who, the man that kept her? Oh, the spell man. See, I'm more likely to
go. Man. You're more likely to go for the devil.
Like, oh, I like him.
Because he can give me what I want.
Mind you, their relationship was toxic because they was low key and like he loved her, but it was just
like a love hate.
Yeah.
So,
but no, I didn't think, because I'm like, nobody was giving, like you said, like in any of the books I read. Even like in Dominicana, the brother who was being nice to her, I was just like, it was weird.
You know something and you not doing nothing.
Right. It's just like too much. So yeah, I didn't really have like a pick in that. But moving on, next question. Your newest favorite character.
So for me, I picked Maverick from Concrete Rose. Did you pick him?
Yeah. Yes. I didn't write it down, but in my head I was like, okay, I need to pick somebody. But yeah, like
I would say because I already knew about him and he knew
he grew into a stand-up guy.
So he was very much a background player in The Hate U Give. So to have that different perspective as a main character in Concrete Rose, he was just someone who you wanted to see his journey, someone who you rooted for. I read a few books that you rooted for the main character, but him in particular, I think she did a good job of kind of building him up and putting him in a tough situation where you can see him overcome some things. So he was my favorite.
All right. Same for me. Like, I just like to see, like Krista said, his journey and see him overcome certain things. And the fact that the way she wrote him, like, he wasn't always like not to say he wasn't a stand-up guy, but he had his trials and tribulations, his troubles, that he had to overcome, and it was just nice to see that in a realistic way that she wrote him. So yeah, same for me. Okay, so next question, book that makes you cry.
You probably got the same one for me.
What?
So I put Dominicana by Angie Cruz.
I didn't actually cry, but I could have.
So I don't know if I shared a tear for real. I may have got misty-eyed. But yeah, like I said recently, she gave you, like, you really felt like you was in that room with her, experiencing everything she was experiencing, or at least witnessing it.
Just like, girl, get away from it.
Get out of this. Do what you need to do. Like, it was really, her writing was just, it just drew you in that way. So, it was just a really sad situation. So yeah, I would say out of all the books, like I read American Dirt, like that had some tough situations. Like I read some tough situations throughout this year, but that one like was tough and you kind of got the feels. Like she did a good job of like giving you the feels with it. So
okay. But yeah, so same for me, Dominicana, for all the same reasons, child. Like it was emotional, it was intense. You wanted, what was the girl name, Anna? You wanted Anna to just like get out of it. She was so young. I think that was the thing.
I just said, like you was on pins and needles with her. Like, it was.
And you knew she was a strong girl, but it was just like she's so young and like.
And she had no one, literally no one. So the person basically abusing her was her lifeline.
City, like don't know no English. Like it was just a lot. So okay, so next question: a book that made you happy.
Okay, so initially I didn't want to keep putting the same books, so I did put The House in the Cerulean Sea again. But another book that made me happy is because I was talking about needing a witch book or whatnot, and it was really entertaining, and that's Akata Witch by Nindi Okafor, I think her name. I don't know if I'm saying it wrong. But that one made me happy because it was cute. It was what I needed in that moment. It had some trials and tribulations, but of course, because there's sequels to it, the good guy wins at the end, kind of, sort of, in a way. So yeah, that one kind of made me happy because of what it gave me in the moment that I was reading it. So, but The House of Cerulean Sea is one that made me smile.
So for me, I put Concrete Rose because I just like the way the story unfolded and like how it the ending, even though I know how it could be about endings sometimes, but I did just the whole journey and the whole story, like all the characters in the book, like what they went through and how they overcame it. I just really enjoyed it, and it was just like a good, heartfelt, like it had the potential to be a sad story, but it was actually very like heartwarming. So next question is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or have received?
So as far as physically beautiful, the only book I bought this year, I haven't
bought any books.
The only book I bought, I bought one last year that I finished this year, and the cover was cute. But the only book I bought this year, and I actually do like the cover, is Concrete Rose. But as far as like library books, this one got a cute cover. I like it.
I like that cover.
I like the cover. But other than that, that's the only one I bought that I have a thing of Concrete Rose. But I thought it was a pretty cover. I thought it was nice.
The only books I bought this year, I feel like, were the
China Rich.
Yeah, those 3 books from Goodwill. And I mean, the covers are cute, but they're
not
nothing like so I need to buy some books, y'all. I really don't. I need to read the books I have.
Right.
Okay, so last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So many. So like I said, those ones I mentioned before, as far as the anticipated books, I need to read those. The books I haven't read yet but want to, I need to read those. But other than that, my intention is to kind of catch up on the books that I've kind of started, maybe not finished. So that would include it's too long. It's too long of a list. But other than that, I'm trying to think of something. I am more intentional about getting through Tana French books this year. And then also some Rainbow Rowell. Just all the authors that I've started, maybe some of their books, I really want to be more intentional about just kind of visiting their catalog. So I would say that. Okay, for me, I need to finish what's it called? The Life of Achilles. Is it called The Life
Song
of
Achilles? Song of
girl,
Achilles. Get it right.
Same thing.
Do not.
Daisy Jones and the Six, City of Girls, I need to finish, and Ya Gyasi's books. I need to read all of those. So that's what I know, both of her books. I know she has more than 2, but I need to read both of them.
No, she has 2.
Oh, okay, so I need to read both.
So yeah, 2 books.
Those are the books that I need to like get through this year, because those are books that I should have read like years ago. Not years ago, but
skip
like
over
last year.
Homegoing for now, because I'm gonna say revisit that Black History Month next year, so you can like already be angry, because that book gonna make you mad. But other than that, yeah, you got some reading to do. All right, is that it with the questions?
Yep.
Girl, she does hard too.
I know. So yeah, that is it. We tag everybody who's watching this video who makes YouTube videos. So boom, go ahead and read through the questions and answer it and make a video, because I'm interested to see like what are the books this year? Like, what are people reading this year? Because y'all know this is not the year of reading for me. I'm trying.
All. So, I'm actually behind on my Goodreads goal though. I'm 7 books behind, but you're probably like 15 books behind.
Not that many. Calm down. But
yeah, this year I usually try to keep up with like books that's coming out, like I said, but I usually don't go that far in advance. But I've been excited to read this year, because I feel like I'm getting back to the books I really have enjoyed, or the type of situations I've enjoyed, or the type of genres I've enjoyed. So I think I'm having a good hearty year of reading so far, and I just look forward to what I'm gonna read next, because I've got my rhythm back. So we knocking out, for us, it's a lot. It might be mild for y'all, but for us, we knocking out 3, 4, 5 books a month.
Anyway, I'm gonna stick to my 3 because that's more realistic for me. Even if I wasn't doing anything for real, 3 is still like enough books for me.
So you're gonna get to 3. What if you got to 3 and you had 2 weeks left of the month?
I mean, if I have time to read, I'll read something, but I'm not quality over quantity because I can't be retaining all that. So yes, like, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Let us know some of your answers to some of these questions. Comment down below, like this video, subscribe, ring the bell, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.